Who has status in a group? Status is a useful way for us to understand hierarchies, and generally someone who is high in status will be anywhere from being respected and admired by their peers to also having influence over the decisions that the group makes. So the goal of this thesis is to take the broad concept of status and break it down into two components, respect and influence. We are also interested in seeing how do these individual components replicate previous findings about how people use status in their interpersonal perceptions of one another in a group, and if they are associated with the same personality traits that are correlated with the broad concept of status. In other words, how do respect and influence inform people's interpersonal perceptions of one another in groups? To examine this, we collected 225 participants from the University of Oregon Human Subjects Pool, split into 26 groups of 4 to 6 people. There were essentially 3 stages to the study. In the first stage, we brought participants into the lab and separated them into their individual rooms, where they privately self-reported on a variety of individual difference measures, such as their personality, their socioeconomic status, and other demographic characteristics. In the second part of the study, we brought everyone into a single group room where they executed a task together. In this task, they discussed the merits of scholarship profiles and selected from a pool of anywhere between 4 to 6 profiles the top 3 profiles. Afterwards, in step 3, we took the participants and separated them back into their individual rooms where they performed round-robin ratings of each of the other participants that they interacted with. In general, we find, first, we have 3 sets of findings. First, we find that people do associate the status components of respect and influence together. Whether it is in their self-perceived respect and influence, to their perceptions of respect and influence in others, to generally how others perceive their own respect and influence, we find high correlations demonstrating that these two constructs, these two components, are related. We also find that people are able to achieve, people agree on who is high or low on respect and influence in the group, and are also able to accurately perceive their own ranking on these two components during their interactions. Most interestingly, we find that the components of respect and influence are both significantly related to the personality trait of extroversion and the extroversion facet of sociability, but they differ on other personality traits. More specifically, the component of respect is associated with agreeableness and compassion, and those components are not related to influence. On the other hand, or to contrast, influence is related to the specific extroversion component of assertiveness, which is not related to respect. In general, this serves as evidence that these are components of the same construct of status, but breaking down status into respect and influence can yield new information that will change how we understand status in others. Future work will investigate how these component level concepts of status can inform how people make affiliative decisions, how they, does similarity on respect or influence predict who they choose to form groups with, as well as how does situational context change our understanding of how respect and influence is important for group interactions and group dynamics.